kinds of folks who've criticized some of the things I've said, but I truly believe
Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to those across the pond and around the world. You're listening to Earth Changes TV Radio Hour, live this Thursday night, January 22nd. All right, well, welcome aboard. You better buckle your seatbelt on this one, folks. It's going to be quite a ride, let me tell you. Boy, I seem to have a niche, a talent for setting forest fires, so to speak. My gosh, I wasn't expecting such a reaction to my last email about the economic situation that we're in, but evidently it hit quite a nerve. I also want to mention that it just so happened to be the hot topic at tonight's National Democratic debate in New Hampshire. The number one topic was the economics. And, well, how do I talk about this without, throwing up red flags or flares or, I do not want to be an alarmist on this. I guess I'm reacting so strongly to it because I never really gave it that much attention or that much weight to it. Sure, I've read a little bit about it, and of course I've seen all the internet stuff that's running around out there. Most of it was pretty radical. And then I have Carlos Barrios, the Mayan elder, coming on Tuesday, and saying that evidently it's somewhere in there, at least his understanding of the Mayan calendar, that economic downfall was in the card, so to speak. And now all of a sudden I'm getting flooded with information on that. But isn't that how it so often is? When you're on a particular subject or particular thought or contemplation or concentration. Well, let me very briefly read you this one. The title of it is Treasury Reneges on 30-year bondholders. Now, I believe this to be true, but I have not made contact with U.S. government officials, so I cannot condone this fully, but it does look like it was written up with a bit of credibility, best I can tell. Very quickly says the U.S. Treasury will default on contracts with investors, mostly individuals, who loaned the government money in 1979 on the agreement that they would receive 9.125% interest every year until their bonds mature in 2009. No longer will politicians and appointed bureaucrats be able to brag that the United States has never failed to live up to its obligation as the safest investment in the world. Investment is no longer guaranteed. The Bureau of Public Debt announcement claims that this recall applies to about $4.6 billion in 30-year bonds issued on May 15, 1979, and calls for their redemption by May 15, 2004. Of course, investors holding these bonds are not forced to cash them in and can hold them until 2009 if they want, but they will no longer receive the interest promised, the main reason for investing their money in the first place. And it goes on, but folks, I just want to let you know that I'm starting to get this kind of information more than I really care to embellish, but I just want you to be aware that it's out there. But look, the bottom line is this. As in all things, please use your gift of discernment. Use your gift of discernment. That's the bottom line. Stuff, like I've been telling you, stuff is going to be coming out hot and heavy. Hot and heavy. And it's going to have at least a large enough percentage of truth in there. But that doesn't always mean that it's a truth. So we need to put our spiritual hats on, if you will. Buck up. We need to be the adult and kind of mature with this uncertain world that we're in. Okay, very briefly, the rover, the Mars Spirit, the Mars rover, right? Named Spirit. Well, gee, what a surprise! They've lost contact, and this is number 4, folks. That's right, number 4 in since 1979 of lost contact with all these things that we send to Mars. Now, let me tell you something. When I had a very brief conversation with Dr. Tom Van Flandern just 2 days ago, we were talking about this, and we were talking about the photographs. And he remarked that the photographs that you see are real. And what I'm referring to are not the red ones, but the ones where you can see the rocks, and it has a bluish, grayish tint to it, and almost, and it looks like there's somewhat of an atmosphere to Mars. He says those are real. And he dropped some hints as to what he's going to say on the air. By the way, I have him coming on the show next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, mark your calendar. Next Tuesday, 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific. Dr. Tom Van Flandern, and I'm biting my lip. I went so bad to tell you what he wants to tell you, but I'm going to let him do it. Of what his hypothesis is as to what's going on up there. To many of you, will not be a total surprise. To others, it's going to be quite an eye-opener. Now, remember, this guy, talk about a pedigree and credentials, 20 years as the U.S. Naval Observatory Director. And he still continues as a NASA contractor. Yes, this guy is in the know. All right, let's get to my guest, because, boy, do we have a ton to talk about, needless to say. Many of you know him, obviously. Ian has become very popular, folks. We've just about run out of bandwidth, and this is on my new server. We've tripled our attendance here. Thank you. We certainly strive to bring you the most cutting-edge information we possibly can, and we are. And the good news about that is it's spreading across the country and around the world really fast. And how timely is that? Ian Lungold. Ian Lungold is the creator of the Mayan Conversion Codex. Ian is one of the leading researchers of the Maya and their calendar systems. He is a contributing author. He is an artist, and he is now conducting workshops and symposiums around the United States, and really across the water now as well. If you ever get an opportunity to go see him, go do it. Not a bad-looking guy either. Well, let's bring him right on, because I am anxious to hear what he has to say. Ian, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Welcome to the show once again, my friend. You're starting to become a very popular person, and I believe it is because of your message. Where do you want to start tonight?
Well, the first thing I want to talk about is the true test that we're all up against. And the true test of everyone who is listening and everyone who is in contact with those who listen, in other words, the friends and family, the biggest test we have at this time is to stay in our own center.
Oh, amen to that.
Now, your center is your discernment of your own reality, your own truth. Do not believe anyone, but evaluate from your own viewpoint what is true or what is not. This is the most important test that we're up against.